Hey guys, thanks for stopping by the channel today. We're going to be trying to clean up my headlights. I got a 2007 F-150. I didn't buy one of them kits from the auto parts store. I've done that before and it didn't seem to work out very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some sandpaper. I'm going to start off with some 500 grit. Or, excuse me, no, I'm starting with 220 grit, some rough to knock the glaze off. You can see the headlight's pretty bad. And then I'll finish it off with some 2000 grit, and then we'll follow up. Once we get it all cleaned up, we're going to hit it with some clear coat that is UV resistant, non-yellowing. So we'll see how this thing turns out. I'm not real sure. It's going to be my first go at this. I've seen where other people have had luck, so I thought, why not? I might as well give it a shot myself. Like I said, first thing I'm going to start off with is the 220 grit. And we're going to wet sand it, so I've got a bowl of water. It's down here. I'm going to set it up a little bit easier to get to. So, first thing I'm probably going to do is take a rag and just kind of wipe it off. Soak it with water. As you can see, guys, it is in pretty rough shape. We'll get it good and wet. Put tape around it to kind of protect my paint. I don't want to sand it by accident. You can see even with it wet, it's still got a lot of oxidation, I guess is what I would call it. So once you get it good and wet, I'm just going to dip my sandpaper down in the water. Then I'm going to start with just kind of cover the whole headlight, good circular motions. It's going to scratch it up pretty good, which is what you want. You want to see that stuff coming off of there. So you don't have to press down real hard with a 220 grit. You don't want to gouge it too awfully bad. I'm just going to cover it. Make sure it's good and wet the whole time that you're doing this. Okay, so there's our first rough sand. I'm gonna dip her back in the water and kind of get the gunk off of it. You can see it's got a good haze now. It's good and scratched up. So I'm gonna hit it just a little bit more with a 220, and then we're gonna call it done with that one. Okay, I'll wipe it off, get it good and wet one more time. And we're going to step it up to the 500 grit. Cut off a little chunk of that. With the 500 grit, I'm just going to go horizontal, try to get rid of the circular motions that we just put in there. I was able to get all my supplies for around 20 bucks, so I can probably do this for about 10, 15 bucks max per headlight. So on the 500 grit, I'm putting a little bit more pressure on it. I want to try to take the deep gouges out that we just put in with a 220 grit. Make sure you keep it good and wet. Still see the streaks, but that's going to help the clear coat sit in. Looks like I got majority of the haze off. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep hitting it with a 500 for a little bit. So it was pretty rough. Then we'll follow it up with a 2000 grit. sure you get the whole light. Okay, we'll probably call that good with a 500. And we'll step it up to the 2000. Doing this right here, guys, will save you a lot of money compared to what it costs for a new headlight. I'm just going to shoot from the cuff and say probably 150 and up for the housing that we're trying to clean up right here. You can see it looks pretty glazed still, so don't let that worry you too much. Now we're going to hit it with a 2000. We're going to spend some time with it with a 2000. Got it good and wet again. This 2000 is pretty fine, so it grabs whatever little notches are left in here and kind of sticks to it. You can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's still taking the nasty glaze off of there. Yellowing, where the sun's just beat it up over the years. And get the whole headlight. We're going to wipe that off and let it dry and see what it looks like, or scratches. You can see just that alone is making it clear up quite a bit. Clear coat, I add the finishing touches to it. Still seeing some yellowing on this side. I'm going to try to get that out. Don't know if I'll be able to or not. But sure hope this helps, because at night you can't hardly see out of this truck. It's kind of a spare vehicle. I don't drive it very often, but probably fixing to put some miles on here because I'm moving my toolboxes to Houston. Decided to take a job with a Caterpillar dealership working on marine offshore engines. The big boys, 3512, C32s, things of that nature. High horsepower. What I really like, this technology job that I got there. It's a good company, but it's not paying the bills in Colorado. All right, guys, so we're gonna let that dry for a second, and then we'll have another look at it and see if I missed any spots. Alright guys, so the thing is dried up now, so I think our next step is going to be we're going to hit it with some rubbing alcohol. Helps get all the oils off and dries it up pretty good. Make sure you got all the water off. Generally I would tell you to put something over your paint, but I think mine's dirty enough. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I may put something on there, I don't know yet. Basically just going to take some rubbing alcohol, put it on a paper towel, and then wipe her down real well. So it gets all the little dust out of the cracks, gets it ready for your clear coat. So, kind of gives you an idea of what it's going to look like once the clear coat gets on there and dries. I think it's going to turn out okay. So I'll let that sit there. follow it up with a clean paper towel and wipe it off, and then we'll let it set for about 5 minutes. And I probably will go ahead and protect the paint, get a trash bag or something to put on there. I got some cardboard. I may just cut a piece and use it as a guide. So all we're doing here is just trying to make sure we got every little speck of crap off of there. Okay, well, I'm gonna let that sit there and dry, guys, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so I decided just to use cardboard to help protect the paint. We're gonna put roughly probably 2 to 3 coats of this clear coat. You wanna give it about 5-10 minutes in between coats to let it dry. What you wanna do, nice, even pass. What I'm gonna do is just stick this cardboard, kind of catch the overspray, and I'll start right there. Don't want to lay it on too thick. It'll run. And if you do happen to get some runs in, guys, just take your 2000 grit sandpaper, sand them off, and try again. So no big worries there. Okay, so we'll just let that dry, and we'll come back and hit it with another coat here in about 5 minutes. Okay, so I didn't film the second coat. This is the third and final coat. The only thing that I'll do, I'm gonna let it set overnight and cure. Then I'll take some car wax and buff it off and call it good. But I hope you can really see the difference. It's actually worked pretty well. You can see a little bit of the fine scratches in there, but it's a heck of a lot better than all the buildup that was on it. So here we go. We'll put the last coat on. So I'm laying the last coat down a little thicker than the other two. Just careful not to get any runs. And I'm gonna call that good. I think it's safe to say I saved probably about $300 doing this. So guys, it's pretty easy. Some sandpaper, some clear coat, a little bit of water, some elbow grease. Save yourself a lot of money. Restore your headlights like a champ. And rock on for a few more years. Thanks, guys. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel and look at my other ones. Thanks again. Later.